And we're back with another one. Blue is our city, Manchester City fan channel. And today we are going to be previewing the match tomorrow, what it's all about, which is the Manchester City versus Borussia Mönchengladbach Champions League second leg of this round of 16 competition. So we're going to be doing a preview of that. And before I really get going, I want to say thank you guys to the amazing support that this channel and this community has been receiving over the last week. I mean, you guys are now subscribing, you guys are liking the videos. I want to say thank you guys so much. I'm just a person that started doing this really about maybe 2 months ago, and I'm really just trying to give my contributions to the club that I love. And I want to say thank you guys for all the support. So feel free to like the video, feel free to share the video, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel. And if you got comments, please leave them below. But I really want to say thank you to you guys before I really get going. So let's get into this preview, bro. So Manchester City versus Mönchengladbach preview, and tomorrow is going to be a late kickoff. I don't know where you guys are located in the world, but I'm over here in America, so I can only imagine that if you're in the eastern parts of the world, that, bro, this got to be a late start time for you guys. But I guess in an American standpoint, it kind of works well at 4 p.m. So I just want to say, bro, I know it's going to be tough for you guys to watch it, but it's going to be a phenomenal match. And as a City fan, this is really what it's all about. It's helping us progress in that Champions League competition, because we all know our history under Guardiola. And if you're new to the channel, maybe I'll break that down for you in the sense of, I think Pep's first year, we made it to the round of 16, lost to Monaco. And then you had 2017, we lost in the quarterfinals, lost in the quarterfinals again the next year, lost in the quarterfinals the following year. So it's really about us showing progression, getting to that next level. And I really think the team has the capability of being able to overcome certain hurdles, which I talked about in previous videos that I've made, which is centered around, I just really want to see progression. I'm not the type to say, yes, Manchester City needs to win the Champions League. I would love that from the club to be able to win the Champions League. But the only thing I want to see is us just get past the quarterfinals. And it's pivotal for us to get past this part of the competition, the round of 16, so we can see that progression that all of us City fans want to see. So let's get into this match. We obviously, you know, we have a 2-0 lead on aggregate right now as we make our way and we travel to Budapest tomorrow. I'm also going to be talking a little bit about some of the press conference points that I happened to catch today. So the first thing I want to talk about is, I don't know, but maybe it's just me, but I don't really have the ability to always see when the press conferences start. I watch it on YouTube, so I'm kind of at the mercy of a lot of the YouTube channels that cover it. And when they showed Zinchenko's face today, oh my God, it was so funny. The way that I saw Zinchenko's face, so I'm watching it on YouTube, Zinchenko's face, he just kind of looked shook a little bit. He looked scared, and as the questions flowed on, I think he answered about 4 questions, and he just looked so shook. And I'm saying, Zinchenko, bro, relax, 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 bro, be calm. And he definitely held himself down, but the first, you should have seen that look on his face, like, and I'm like, Zinchenko, just calm down, brother. We got you, we got you, we got you. So, you know, he definitely answered questions, and he felt a little bit more confident going into, finishing up his session of the press conference. But I'm really, before I get into the starting lineup, I want to go through some additional points. So, really, Zinchenko was asked a question. There's been a lot of talk and a lot of chatter around some statements that he has made. So I'm not going to get verbatim with the statements, but I'm going to be paraphrasing as well. So Zinchenko was basically asked about competing on all competitions, and he alluded to the fact that he could definitely see the hunger inside the team's eyes. And I guess this became a major talking point amongst certain channels that I watch, certain media that I watch, and then also paying attention to certain sports apps on my phone, that Guardiola was a little critical of him making those comments. But when I watched it, I didn't really see nothing that I thought was just, outlandish. So I think we just all need to be easy on that. That's just Zinchenko's way of, being confident and saying that, hey, there's been, we know it's one step at a time, but he knows that this team has the capability to win and compete on all competitions, on all 4 competitions. I don't think he was being arrogant in this case, but maybe it was perceived that he was kind of going against what Guardiola preaches this year, which is one game at a time, kind of using that American style Bill Belichick approach, if you will. I don't really like Bill Belichick as a New York Jets fan, but I guess he's trying to use that approach and instill on the players that it's one game at a time and we need to prepare ourselves for this way. But it was just so much talking points around this, around the fact that he said that he looks at the team, he sees a lot of hunger, he sees people that are hungry to win and keep winning. And one question was later followed up to Guardiola, asking Guardiola about Zinchenko's comments, and Pep alluded to the fact that he's a little bit more older than Zinchenko, and he disagreed with a lot of what Zinchenko said. And this part right here is really for Pep. So Pep, one thing that you have to understand, and please don't take this the wrong way, is that think about Zinchenko. Zinchenko was a player that you brought in that's basically matured and had to learn multiple positions, learn how to play in that, what he would define as that midfield role, and then later became a left back. And he's had to do a lot of adjustments. So it's important to understand that Zinchenko is a person just like all of us, right? The second thing is that he's definitely a football player. But Pep, please understand, the man has a third talent, which is his rapping ability. So, if you are a fan of rap, that like a lot of parts of being a rapper is all about confidence. It's about that swaggy, Pep. So just be easy on the brother and understand that he didn't probably mean no harm in this context. He was just saying that, hey, he believes in this team's ability to be able to keep on all fronts. But Pep, just understand, man, I gotta get the props going because the man's a rapper. You guys saw that Zinchenko video was Zinchenko was kind of like rapping. I know he was wearing like the Ray-Ban style, but Pep, understand this is a part of Zinchenko's aura. This is a part of him being swaggy and being confident. Now, if he was being arrogant, Pep, that's when we got to take the shades off and let him know, hey, young brother, like you need to chill out. But point being, Pep, is I think the man was just being confident. So let's just be a little easy on him on that. So let's be good with that. Also, other questions kind of arose and around Pep, and Pep was really asked a question about Sterling, because we know that we haven't seen Raheem Sterling over the weekend, and maybe there's been some chatter about why he wasn't on the bench. Was there some issues going on? I tend not to pay attention to this type of stuff, and I think Pep had a really good answer, and I'm really going to be paraphrasing here. It's basically saying that Raheem Sterling, travels. He's going to travel with the team in preparation for play, Mönchengladbach. So it's really a point or an opportunity for us all to understand. It's like Pep hit it right on the head. Is that he has never, in his 40 years of coaching, met a player that was just happy to be sitting on the bench. So there's going to be times in the season to where players want to play. They want to play all the time. You know what I mean? Like every opportunity you get, you don't want to, be a member of a squad or be an active player to just be rocking on the bench. It's just not your natural thing, especially when you're a professional. So it was good to see that Pep answered the question like that. But the way he first answered it, he kind of was like, I was like, ooh, I didn't really like the confidence in that. His answer was more like, yes, he's going to travel with the team. And I'm like, whoa, this is kind of a little alarming, the fact that he just kind of answered it in that way. But later on, he alluded and cleaned it up, saying that, there's no problem. There's no issue going on. And then they asked him about that Raheem Sterling put out the tweet and said, there's no beef going on. So I really like that. But I really want to say, I think it's very important that we see Raheem Sterling kick on at some point. I know that this might not be the most ideal Raheem Sterling season, but Pep knows, bro. Like, Raheem Sterling is one of the only few players that I've ever seen that can play at a high level as far as intensity. Maybe he's not getting the goals or the assists all the time, but between his work rate and everything that he does, and then his ability to stay fit, because, one thing about sports, it doesn't matter the sport that you play, your best ability is actually availability. And Raheem Sterling has that in abundance. So it's really important to remember as City fans that, we have to support Raheem Sterling. We have to support our whole squad, even when they might not be kicking on. But we also saw last year, because I know you guys can remember when we played Real Madrid, Raheem Sterling was one of the difference makers in that particular, round. It's the way he ran that Carnival, and then we got the penalty. That would have never happened without Raheem Sterling, coming into the game and putting that pressure on. So it's really vital that Raheem Sterling be a part of the squad. That doesn't mean that we might see him tomorrow, we might not, or he might come on late, he might not start. But at the end of the day, we need Sterling to kind of start kicking on. So Pep just needs to give him that confidence. And I'm pretty sure Raheem Sterling will play a role, not only in tomorrow's game, but further on in the competition. So it's up to us City fans to keep supporting the team even when we know certain players are not kicking on. That doesn't mean you have to be falling in love with everybody, but at the end of the day, it's just important that we support these guys, because it might not be tomorrow, but we might need him in the next round if we so luckily get over the hurdles. So that's really going to be a vital part. Another part I really want to touch upon, and that's why this video is going to be a little bit longer, is that I really want to talk about some of the lines of questioning that he was asked, and the line of questioning that Zinchenko and Pep was asked, really, and it's kind of irritating. And I'm not singling out anybody. There are certain members of the media I like, certain members of the media I just really do not like. And it has to really talk about a lot about expectations and, you know, how vital it is to make it over this hurdle, because we know what has happened in previous years. And I really don't like this line of questioning. I'm very uncomfortable with it, because I think that is kind of setting us up in a way to say, well, you know what has happened to City in the past. You know, how are you going to overcome the hurdle? And yes, I know that these guys are journalists and they have to ask certain questions, but it's important to understand that, yo, there is no expectation. They're talking about us winning, you know, 4 trophies. And I'm glad that Pep has this unique approach to these press conferences, in my opinion. And I really like the fact that he seems to be understanding throughout his time that, you know what, some of these questions, like, for instance, they love you when you're winning, but when it gets to that Champions League, I think Pep has really learned a lot about the British media and media in general, about how they love you when you're winning, but, you know, one second that you start slipping up in the Champions League, they all over you. So Pep is kind of taking this even kill approach, and what I would call an even kill approach in these press conferences, not allowing himself to get so high or so low at a particular point. And I really like this approach that Pep is using, because he is trying to say simply like, yo, you guys can ask all the questions you want, but I'm shutting it down anytime you guys start talking about winning quadruples, you know, City or the team to beat. I mean, he was directly asked a question, and I really feel uncomfortable talking about this, because the person that asked the question, he's a living legend, in my opinion. Not only because I'm a City fan, but he's one of the people who inspired me to start my channel. So I could never really say anything negative about him, but I really was a little uncomfortable with the question. And he was directly asked about, you know, these expectations and City got to win and all this other stuff. But this person that I'm really referring to, I must say that I probably kind of try to look at this person and say, man, it's got to be hard doing what this guy does, because how could you be a City fan and then be a journalist? It's got to be like this weird dilemma of you being a City fan and then you being a journalist. So it's got to be real interesting of a dilemma to be able to be critical of the team, you know, at times that the team deserved to be critical. So like I said, I really do not like these expectations, and Pep, please do not pay attention to these expectations, because one thing that I'm seeing from Pep is Pep understands one thing: one game at a time. Whatever their expectations are, leave that outside. The only expectation we have inside this locker room, inside this organization, inside this club, is that we're just looking for progression, game in, game out. And I really like that approach, because it allows an even kill to where Pep is not going to get too high and too low. So that's my point around that. But he was asked a direct follow-up question that, you know, with Barca and Juve being out of the competition, now City are the favorites. And I'm saying to myself, what the hell? Like, we are never the favorites. And I'm going to tell you why we are never the favorites, because if you Manchester City fan, you know the heartbreak that this competition has brought us. You know what I mean? We've been up in first legs and then lost the second leg. You know, I mean, even before Pep's time, you know, we just never really managed to seem to get over that particular hurdle. So there is no such things as favorites. And I really like what Pep said in another press conference, where he said the only team that should be favorites is Bayern, because Bayern won it, or the only team that should be favorites in the Premier League is Liverpool, because they are the defending champions. So I really love that from Pep. But at the end of the day, I really love his approach, and that was just some of the press conference reactions that I had going into this game. Now I want to talk about the form of the teams, because when you really look at Mönchengladbach, and we know Mönchengladbach's kind of been on like a little bit of a losing streak, right? Like from what I'm seeing on my phone is that they lost a few games consecutively when you're looking in the Bundesliga. So one thing that we understand as City fans is that, that can happen in that league, but be a whole different story in the Champions League. I'm confident that the team will get over the hurdle, but we know as City fans it's not going to be easy. So the approach has to be, we don't care what they are doing in the Bundesliga. We don't even care about what happened in the first leg. This is a brand new game. Anything can happen, and I really love us taking this approach. Now, when you look at our form, ever since we lost to United, we have now ended that run, but we have started a new run. So, we're looking a little confident. We got our swag back after the win against Southampton, and we continued a little bit of our confidence, even though it wasn't the prettiest game at times versus Fulham. So coming into the game, yes, one team might be starting another run. Another team may be on a slump, if you will, but anything can happen in this competition, and I love the fact that the team knows that. So it's going to be really important that the team understands, and I'm pretty sure the team definitely understands this, is that block all that nonsense out. Everything is about tomorrow and progressing. Now I'm going to get into, from a Manchester City perspective, a little bit. You guys know I don't really do the starting lineup thing, because I'm thinking to myself, like, starting lineups are just not ideal. Like, there is no way we're going to guess the starting lineup. So I really even thought to myself that it would be a really interesting thing. You know how they have those things like pick 'em, to where you have to pick scores throughout a season and there's one winner. Imagine if we started like some kind of competition where throughout the 50, 60 game season, anybody who guesses, I would say 5 or more exact guesses or of Manchester City starting lineups, that person should definitely get some kind of prize. And I think I want to even sponsor that and kind of start this, because in my mind, I'm saying to myself, bro, I don't think I've ever guessed Manchester City starting lineup. I'm pretty sure most of you guys have never guessed a starting lineup. So I really don't waste my time with that. But one thing I want to say is that there's certain players that I really want to see be able to kick on. And I'm going to talk about something else Pep said in the starting lineup. So the one thing I'm thinking about is when I look at the left back position, and like I said, there's been a lot of chatter about what Zinchenko said, but usually when you see a person that's in the presser, so let's say, for instance, it's the presser and then you see Zinchenko in this presser, normally that person starts. But I think it's going to be really interesting to see if Pep's disagreement with what Zinchenko said still has Zinchenko in the starting lineup, because he also talked about Nathan Ake here, and I think he was just alluding to the fact that we have to get Nathan Ake involved and everybody wants minutes and Nathan being back healthy. But, I hope that Zinchenko's confidence or his approach doesn't make Pep kind of eliminate him from tomorrow's starting lineup. So I'm really going to take a guess on the left back position, but normally I think you would see Zinchenko start because we saw him in the presser. But will this be João Cancelo's time to be back there? I really don't think he's going to play Mendy, but I think it's either going to be Zinchenko, or we might see where Pep Guardiola goes with the Nathan Ake situation, if he throws Nathan Ake out there at left back. So I think that's really going to be interesting. And while I'm on that point, I know over the weekend we saw versus Fulham that he lined up with the back three. Pep, please do not do the back three tomorrow. That's the only thing I probably do not want to see. Yes, I know we won the game versus Fulham, but Pep, in my opinion, if you do the back three and hypothetically we lose, you will never hear the end of this. So the back three, let's just not do that tomorrow. But hopefully, we will definitely get back to seeing some stabilization there as far as let's get back to the back four. Center back pairing is going to be real interesting, because we knew John scored at the weekend, so John scoring at the weekend and opening up the goal tally for us versus Fulham. Does Pep say, okay, now I'm going to rock with Jones, with John and Diaz, or is this going to be back to Laporte and Diaz, so I don't know, but it'll be real interesting to see. I think we could all guess that regardless of whatever, Diaz will be there. Now I kind of want to talk about players that I really want to see, play, and, I'm not going to guess the right back situation, but I really do think if Sterling does not start, Sterling needs to get involved in this game somehow. Also, I'm thinking, too, that we will not see Sergio Aguero. So don't be shocked if Sergio might come on, make a cameo at 15 minutes left to play. But I don't really think we're going to see Sergio Aguero start. It would be nice to see him start, but I really don't think we're going to see him start. I want to see definitely Raheem Sterling play. And I think that this is definitely Mahrez's time. Like, Mahrez will be on the right because Mahrez was rested over the weekend versus Fulham. So I think we're definitely going to see Riyad Mahrez. We're definitely going to see Kevin, in my opinion, too. I definitely think we're going to be seeing Kevin, but will it be in a false nine setup? We don't know. But when you look at that left wing, there's only 2 players that we have in this squad that can play the left wing, which is Sterling and Foden. So, does he decide, hey, we're going to put Foden out there and let him start to provide that natural width if he decides to go with a João Cancelo? But if he decides to go with a Zinchenko, maybe you might see a little bit more of Sterling there. So I think it's going to be real interesting to see what he does there. Is this Ilkay Gundogan's time? He was also asked a question about Bernardo Silva, what Bernardo Silva brings to the team, and is he happy with Bernardo? And you guys know my stance. If you're watching my channel, you already know. I don't care if Bernardo scores. I don't care if Bernardo's getting assists. Ideally, I would like him to do both of those things, but Bernardo's energy is what he's in the team for. When Bernardo works his butt off, I think it just sends a message to the team that this... God, he looks so skinny, too. I hate to even say that. I was watching this YouTube thing. I think it's called Chicken Soup Date or something. And it was him and Lingard on there. And I'm saying to myself, man, Bernardo's a really skinny guy. For such a skinny guy, this guy works his tail off. So at the end of the day, that's really all I care about is him just being able to work. And he'll find those opportunities. So I think it's definitely going to be interesting to see who plays tomorrow. But I think that nailed on starters is probably Diaz. It's definitely going to be, KDB and Mahrez. The rest of the team will definitely have to sort itself out, but hopefully we see Sergio Aguero, and then there's another person I definitely need to see. And I'm not saying that we might see him tomorrow, but we really need to start making sure that Torres is playing because, in my opinion, Torres is very vital in his own way, not only because of the earlier group stages of the Champions League, how he was helping us score goals, but I think he provides this element of surprise, right? This element of unpredictability because it's the first time that he's only been at Manchester City, but for us Manchester City fans, it's important that we see that because we don't really know what this guy is capable of, but neither does the defense because this guy can just do so many different things. And I know some people would argue that he probably hasn't had the best couple of months or last 2 months because we haven't seen him in cases, but Torres is somebody that we need to kick on and get him going. And now you look at so many players that we have in the squad, it's going to be kind of hard to really work all these guys into the squad together, but I really would like to see Torres play at some point because I really think whether it's this round or if we progress to the next round, that we're going to have to see this guy kick on because he does things that are unpredictable, and we need that in the team, especially up front, So I think it's going to be real interesting to see what Guardiola does with him. And if he doesn't play Torres necessarily, for this particular leg of the competition tomorrow, but maybe we need to see him in the quarterfinals because I'm telling you, Pep, this guy, he has the capability of being a winner and helping us get over the hurdles. So it's important that we see him in some form. Last point I want to make, before I wrap this up is that Pep alluded to the fact, or he was asked questions about, a bottle of red wine that he's going to share with Marco Rose that they either were trying to share before, but Pep basically said that, after the game tomorrow, he hopes to buy a bottle in Budapest and then maybe they can have a drink after the game. So my point being there is, Pep, we need a win, baby, because at the end of the day, we all want to see City progress to what it's all about. In my opinion, it is all about progression in Champions League, but it's about winning that round of 16 game and getting us back to just getting past that quarterfinals. Because Pellegrini got us to the semis, but we need Pep to try to get us there. So try to get us there and just do the right thing. So Pep, please don't overthink tomorrow. Let the team be confident. No arrogance. No back three stuff, but let's just get a win any way we can. I don't care. I'm pretty sure a lot of other City fans will not care about how we win. It's just about we winning and progressing. So as you guys, meaning Pep and Marco, are enjoying their bottle, Pep, the only thing I want to see is I want to be able to pop that bottle too. So Pep, let's get out there and get a win. City players, please go out there, do your best. We're gonna love you. We're gonna rock with you either way, guys. But tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard, because I'm over here in America, Pep, I would just love to pop this bottle of red and join you and Marco and have a drink. So I'm looking forward to other City fans out there. If you choose to have a beer, you choose to have a cocktail, or you choose to pop a bottle of red, let's all get this W tomorrow so we can have a happy drink. You know what I mean? So City, come on. We're going to do this. We're going to win as a team, and I am confident that the team is going to win. I am not going to try to guess the final score. The only thing I want to see is City win. So until then, I'll definitely be seeing you guys tomorrow. I'm going to do, I know I haven't been on my live thing for a minute, but I'm starting to realize that being that I'm new, I got to take steps in this, right? Like I can't just be jumping ahead and doing lives. I got to master the videos before I get to live. So, but tomorrow, I'm definitely going to do a live after the game. So I appreciate you guys' support, and I look forward to seeing you guys then. Blue is our city, Manchester City fan channel, and come on, City. We're going to close it out in Budapest tomorrow. We love you either way. We rocking with you. But until then, let the swag flow, baby. Time for City to win. Let's get it.